Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. So, guys, I wanted to do a quick video about Canelo's recent statement. Canelo has come out and said that that the John Ryder fight is a fight that, would be very big, would be very interesting for him. However, nothing has been confirmed at this point. Canelo said he is still going through rehab for his surgery of, I think it was his arm. I was not his arm, his hand, was it? I think he had some surgery. So, firstly, I hope that Canelo can get back to full fitness and Canelo can get back to his best, because I don't know. I have a feeling Canelo might be past his best now and maybe going to the other side of his career. And what you don't want to start having is surgeries, because surgeries are the worst thing that any man can start having, because once the knife goes into your body, or the knife starts going into your body's never the same. So I really, really hope that Canelo Alvarez is the same man when he comes back, because like I said, surgeries are never a good thing. Once, like I said, someone cuts you open, I mean, that part of your body is not what God created it. I mean, God creates us humans, and when we come with eye sockets. We come that it's all natural, right? When you start having surgery, that means things are being tampered around with your body. It's just like a car. When a car is first made, as soon as those things start being tampered with, the car's not the same. The same thing with your human body. Once you start actually tampering with your body parts, and they start cutting it and stuff like that. Of course, nowadays with the science that everything, generally they can make you brand new. But still, I still feel, in my opinion, that once you start getting cut open, I feel that your body starts to, it's not the same. The body part, everything is not the same. I feel that your body, that part of your body becomes weak. So Canelo, wherever he's had surgery, I think it was on his hand, that's going to be an issue for him moving forward. I know I've had people that broke their legs and they've, got surgery and stuff. And they've always complained about, injuries afterwards. Now, obviously, Canelo's got a lot of money. This man has access to probably the best doctors in the world. He has access to the best scientists probably next to him, side by side. If he's got so much money, I mean, scientists could, sleep in the next bed next to him, and he could have a, room set up for them in his house. I mean, literally, you could have them all around him 24/7. He's got that much money. But the point is that for me, once you start getting these injuries, once you start getting these niggles, I mean, it's never a good sign. And Canelo's not getting any younger; he's getting older. Also, Canelo's a car right now, and I'll explain it in a car. Canelo's had about 100,000 miles on the clock. So Canelo's a BMW, or maybe a Rolls Royce, but it's a Rolls Royce that's done 130,000 miles on the clock. So this is a guy he's done a lot of running around. He's worn out at this point. And it's how much he's got left at this point, and how much he's going to have left, because he's a car that's done 130,000 miles on the clock, but the last 3-4 years he's probably done about 60,000-70,000 miles on the clock, because he's put in a lot of work. Canelo has, in the last 3-4 years. He's put at least 60,000-70,000 miles on the clock in the last 3 years. He's done that many miles. Canelo has constantly fought so many times. He's put his body through a lot of wear and tear. And what people don't understand is it's the camps back to back that Canelo has put himself under a lot of wear, lot of training. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I think Canelo, for me, overdid it. I think he overdid it because he wanted to become an undisputed champion. But I actually think he did his body a lot of harm. A lot of people probably don't talk about this, but I actually think, even though Canelo has, like I said, the best doctors they respect, I think he put his body under a lot too much stress. And I think he put his body under too much stress. I actually think that what he did, and even though we praised him at the time, and we still praise him, the fact that he went and fought the champions back to back, people may say, oh, well, those champions weren't that strong, whatever. I think Canelo put his body under a lot of stress. And Canelo's body now has broke down as a result of those hard camps, fighting back to back. And for me, I think there needs to be a balance, because boxing's not an easy game. Boxing's a very tough game. The training, the regimen, everything, the diet, everything is very tough. And when you're putting your body under extreme pressure, intense strain like that, your body could break down. And Canelo, for me, probably overdid it in that period. And like I said, for me, he put a lot of miles on the clock. He probably put 30,000 miles on it in a year, which sounds ridiculous, but he obviously he put a lot of strain on his body in that 4 or 5 period he had in a year. I mean, that's okay when you're fighting at a low level, when you're fighting at top championship level. Even though some of those fights might have not been that tough, yeah, it may not look tough to you. It may you don't know. See, we only see the end product. We don't see what goes on in behind behind the scenes. Canelo Alvarez is sparring multiple rounds every time, thousands of God knows how many rounds he's sparring, and he's getting hit, punched in the face when he's getting sparred. Even if they got headgear on, it doesn't matter. He's getting punched in the head. That wears you down. Body punches. I mean, it takes a lot of toll on the body. It takes a lot of toll on the body. And for me, Canelo Alvarez has got a lot of wear and tear. And now that he's had surgery, and for me, that what he did, the 4 or 5 fights, even though, like I said, it was commendable. The fact that Canelo wants to fight the best, I think he put his body under a lot of stress. And I wasn't impressed by his performance against GGG. I think he looked he looked very old himself. He looked very, lethargic almost. And now we know he had a surgery. Now, for me, it's not the same Canelo. I think Canelo that fought GGG the second time would have probably stopped GGG. I think even though GGG's got a granite chin, I think he would have battered him pillar to post. I think he would have come close to stopping, even though I think the referee might have just. I think Canelo potentially could have battered him so much that where the referee would have come in and said, "Oh, enough's enough," even though GG's not going to go down. Where I think the referee might have jumped in and said, "Look, that's it. It's too much punishment." But Canelo didn't look right. He looked lethargic. He looked old. He looked sloppy. It didn't look good to me. And that's the thing. And I think the back-to-back camps, I think we underestimate. You see, sometimes when we wow somebody, it's not necessarily the greatest thing. Even though Canelo did great, what was for the sport and giving the best fights and fighting champions and becoming undisputed, that's all good. But sometimes you're doing a lot of damage to your body, and I think Canelo might be feeling the effects of that now. And that's why I think Canelo, when he was fighting twice, I think Canelo got greedy. And what I meant by greedy is that Canelo saw an opportunity to become undisputed. He thought these guys were easy to beat, and I'll beat these guys quickly and I'll do it quick. It's a bit like a guy that's seen something, a kid that's seen something that'd be like a kid in a candy shop. I want to get this now. I want this now. And Canelo kind of seen it, and he's like, no, I want to be undisputed. You see how obsessed Canelo was to becoming undisputed. The reason why he was obsessed, because he wanted, Canelo's a guy, he wants to create history. He wants to say, I had all 4 belts. So Canelo got restless. Canelo would have got those fights regardless, but he wanted it right away. He wanted it now. He wanted things to be done quickly. That's why Canelo did all those fights quickly, because he wanted to become undisputed. And those guys were never going to turn down the chance to fight Canelo, because it was a payday for them. So Canelo for me was like, he just wanted it now. Rather than waiting it, he would have got those fights anyway, because everybody wants to fight Canelo. The dream ticket is fighting Canelo. But I think Canelo rushed it, and I think he did a lot of damage to his body, maybe externally and internally. And I think Canelo now may be past his best because of the result of that. Because those type of wear and tears, you can't gain that. You can't get back. That's your, like I said, a car. Once you do the certain amount of mileage, you can't make it brand new. It's done 100,000. It's done 100,000 miles on the clock. That's there. That you can't take that away. Canelo's done the mileage. His body's felt that, and he's now suffering injuries and stuff. And that the injuries get worse as you get older. I mean, when you get older, your body parts are slowing down anyway, because you're getting older. When you're 34, 35 in boxing, wherever, Canelo's 32, but Canelo's got a lot of wear and tear. He might be 32, but he's old 32. He's had a lot of fights, and it's not like a lot of rest. I mean, he's been constant. Even when he was been fighting twice a year, it's constant. Twice a year, when he fights May and September, that's pretty intense. And then let's look at the last year when he became undisputed. I mean, he was fighting back to back. I mean, so that was for me, probably, in my opinion, put his body under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. But what I will say is that, a lot of people give Canelo a lot of stick, a lot of criticism, say that this, that, the other about him. I'm always going to stick by Canelo, because Canelo for me is a guy that's done a lot of good for the sport. Some people criticize him and say, oh, well, he tested positive, whatever. You know, I feel like Canelo, there's been other fighters in the past that have tested, and nobody criticizes them the same way that he gets criticized. That aside, for me, Canelo, for me, now should be not necessarily selective, but Canelo should not be fighting 3-4 times a year. Canelo should fight 2 times a year and make those fights meaningful, where we get to see him. Because I think Canelo is at the end of his career. I know some of you are hopeful that Canelo, that was just, he's back now, he's brand new. Canelo's at the end of his career now. Canelo's not got that long left. And when I mean long left, he could go on for another 7-8 years, but I don't think that's going to be the best version of Canelo. I think you're going to see a Canelo that's going to be shot worn if he carries on too long. I think Canelo at max will probably go on till 36. And that, what I mean by going on by 36, I think that will probably be the best possibly he could be to compete at a top level. If he goes past that, I think he probably will start to decline pretty fast. And we don't want a situation with Canelo, as great as he's been throughout his career, where he ends up like Roy Jones and getting knocked out by guys. And Canelo's got a great chin, but nonetheless, that guys like that are even worse because they take a lot of punishment, and we don't want Canelo to, you know, have some kind of damage. So, you know, I personally think, and Canelo's not the most fleetest guy. I mean, even though Canelo has a good defense, but I saw against Bivol that Bivol was teeing him up on the ropes and he was hitting him with a lot of combination punches. I mean, you know, a younger, fresher man, you don't want him to be teeing off on you like that. So, like I said, let's hope Canelo is not past his best. I really want to see a lot more of Canelo, but I do speculate that, you know, Canelo might be at the end of his career now. He's at the twilight of his career. But yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.